Welcome on. It is Tuesday. It's today is Series 7 and SIE only. It's FINRA stuff. SIE, Series 6, Series 7, 24, 57, or whatever it is. I had a couple of students nail the 57 yesterday, which was good. And I teach, starting next week, I teach the analyst class. I do the 63, then the 7, then the 57 right after that. So it should be fun. Nice group of kids. We're in the middle of in Midtown. It's great stuff. Okay. Couple quick things to get started. We're starting early tonight because I have somebody coming in. Hopefully it works. I've never tried to bring in somebody like an invite before. From 8 to 8:30, 8:45, the guy Max from Wall Street Masters is coming in, and he is he's a recruiter. So let me give it back, and then I'll tell you about him a little bit more because I have to get a little bit more. Hold on. So a couple of things. We have a lot of good stuff. We have here's one thing which I don't think Jeff knows about yet. I love to surprise people. If you go on my website, series7exam.org, you will see that you can take tests on your own. I have a 7 test, I have a suitability, I have a bonds, and I have a Series 65 test, which you don't care about, but those are all free. You can just take them. They're interactive. You can try them. I'm going to keep doing that. It's really good stuff. I have an options test on there too. Full, not just a 25 question thing that I run through ClassMark, which you can do, which has 900 questions that rotate. So let me make this clear. If you go to my series7exam.org website, you have the ability to take a 25 question quiz randomized between 900 questions. Or you can take a full 125 question test. Or you can take a suitability test. Or you can take a bond test. Or you can take options. All of them interactive. You get your score at the end. If you leave during the middle, it doesn't save your score because I'm not asking for your email or anything. I'm just asking you to go take it and give me feedback. It's like a little bit of a beta test. I want feedback on these exams if you've taken them because I think I'm working very hard at making them mimic the exam.
It's a beta test, a sandbox environment, an MVP.
Yes, all of the above. So it's a Series 7 sandbox.
So it would be like answering Roman numerals 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yep. Got it. Okay. Yep.
Well, let's see what do we have coming in?
Okay.
Oh, we've got a passer.
I love it. Oh, James Chavez. You get to try out my new video that I just put in. Awesome. Let's see if it works this time.
Mama told me not to. I did anyway, misbehaving.
Daddy said don't, but I said I'm gonna misbehaving.
Eyes on the windowsill, swimming in the creek.
Catching crawdads and playing with a stick.
I wore lipstick.
And I got caught shaving. Just 2 little country kids outside misbehaving.
Wow.
I love Goggins. He's my favorite guy. Did you ever see the show Justified?
No.
Oh, you haven't seen the show Justified? It's like 8 years.
No, but I have seen Goggins goggles.
There you go. That's he became famous because of Justified.
I realize what's wrong here.
What's wrong?
We're
on the wrong side.
Sides.
I don't think that's right. I know. Hold on.
Something was throwing me off.
There we go. I know. Oh, I feel better now.
No. Whew.
Feel better. Okay. James, that's awesome. Okay. The URL is series7exam.org, baby. Series7exam.org. James, that song was for Ain't Misbehaving was for you. Any surprise? That's what I say, everyone. Any surprises on the exam? And how can I be the man if you're the man? And Connor Swope, welcome on to options, baby. Those options things will change your life. Now, a couple of things before I get on to the rest of it, okay? Now, we have, if you need extra questions, there are 3 vendors that we use, okay? Securities Institute of America, link in my bio. Achievable, outstanding, and STC, outstanding. These are 3 good. And SIA, the Securities Institute of America, you can buy just questions. STC, not yet. Achievable, not yet. But if you really need questions and you just want a lot of questions, check out Securities Institute of America. We'll go from there. Okay. Now, Achievable is good. I have links for all that stuff. It's great. I'm working if you see, I'm slowly getting my test out. I've done 40 questions. I did another 20. My brutal 3 is coming out slowly by slowly. I'm dripping it out. And then once it's done, I'll put it into one big long video. But the problem is it took me an hour to do 40 questions and another 30 minutes to do 20. So this is going to be a really long video. So I want to get it out a little at a time. Okay. I'm also so busy. I don't think I've been this busy in probably a year. I mean, I'm literally doing, like, my daughter's here. I'm teaching from 9 a.m. till now. I don't have anyone after this, but even though I'm driving into the city tomorrow to drop them off for more wedding dress shopping, it's funny. All my money coming in is going right out the door. Okay.
So then,
What?
Ken, how do you handle all that stress?
I don't know how I handle it all. I talk to Jeff. No, I'm kidding. Jeff keeps me.
I
like this.
If you sign up, I could give you, 40. How long? 45 minutes.
Yeah, I can do 45 minutes for the cheap price of. Is it 75 or 100?
Yeah, 75.
I don't know. So that's the thing. So Jeff will help you out with setting up your study plan. Although he does a lot of stuff. He's a very busy man. See, my kids are older. He has not young kids. He has like he has one non-teenager and one soon to be ex-teenager in a couple of years. Who cares? But the point was she's getting older. So you think when the kids get older, there's less work, and there isn't. There's almost more.
And they become more expensive.
Way more expensive, and you got to drive them places.
No.
Okay. No. Now that's true. You don't have to drive any of them anywhere.
They're 17 and 21.
Yeah. It's crazy. Isn't it weird? In 3 years, you'll have no teenagers.
I know. That's crazy. I just want to point out one thing here because I see a lot of people. I don't know if you're seeing it. The people are joining the memberships. So I figured I might as well just post this so everybody's a fair look at it.
Yeah. So the memberships are outstanding. Literally, they're really well. So understand, you can go, if you hit the word join, you'll see this. I'm not going to go through the whole prices, but understand my options will change your mind. If you pay up a little bit more, we get that plus 1 class a week. If you go up a little more, that plus 2 classes a week. Play a little bit more, that plus 3 classes a week. And you're paying the max, the highest one is $99 a month. And you get 3 classes a week, which is like $8 a class. Pretty cool. Okay. Let's get into it. Okay. Manuel, I can pretty much explain anything simply. If you ask me to tell you about the flux capacitor, I can explain this. No, I'm kidding. I can't do that. Okay. So Connor, welcome on for that. Let's see. Okay. Santiago. Okay. The only time 69 is a bad time, right? 69 is a bad number in this case. But here's what you do. So I know you feel good about it. So in reality, that's not really a knowledge gap. That is maybe you just got unlucky, something like that. So let's think about this. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that you're going to spend take a couple of days off, if hopefully you have already. Then you're going to just start reading the book again. Just read the book cover to cover. Don't try to do any quizzes. Don't do anything. Don't act like you missed by 3. Act like you missed by 31. And what do I say? It's a 30-day problem in a 40-year career.
But why do you say act like you missed by 31?
Because a lot of people the worst thing in the world is missing by 1 or 2, because then you try to make up the little 1 or 2 instead of jumping up. And instead of, your job is to improve everything by 10% to give yourself a cushion. And here's the other thing. And Jeff can expand on this a little bit. If you just focus on the shit you were bad at, that will go up and then something else will go down. And then you're like, how did I miss again? Oh, my investment field is up, but my function 3 went down by 10% and I lost. Jeff, do you have any insight on this?
Yes. The reason the real reason you want to study everything from the beginning is because you don't know what bank of questions you're going to pull the next time. It is not going to be the same exact questions. Obviously, same topics. You're still taking the Series 7, but you don't know which questions you're going to pull. So what better way to be prepared than to know everything? And when I say know everything, it's not memorizing every little nuance of the Series 7. It's being well-versed at 75 to 80%. So when you're taking your practice exams, you want to score 75 to 80% on all your exams. If and I always say, like, you don't want to be unbalanced. Like, you don't want to be getting 90s on all the option questions and 20% on rules and regs. You want to make sure you're well balanced. So The good news is you took the exam, you know what to expect. You got a 69. You can't get a 69 by luck. You just can't. You have to study to get that close. And like what Ken was saying before, you probably missed because you maybe you looked at a question that said which one is, and you answered which one isn't. Things like that. Maybe, just small little things. You're close. You're right there. So why not just go in extra strong, reread, you're going to spend the time anyway, and pass it the next time. So
I love it.
That's the way that
Inspiring words from Jeff. Jeff talks. Okay, good. Okay. I haven't seen a video from Jeff in a while, though. He's been kind of slacking. Oh, he had some shit to do. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we're moving on. Okay. So here's my thing. It's going to sound like shitty, but if you can helping. Okay. I can, there's not much I can do here because remember, straddles have 2 break-evens. Spreads have 1 break-even. Okay. Straddle, you add the premiums. The word add is in the word. So add your premiums together, spread, you subtract them. Okay. I do have a video on the free side. I'm not going to make you pay up. I mean, to do the shit, you will. You pay $24 a month. That's fine. If not, if you go on my options playlist, I know a lot of it's behind a paywall, but if you scroll down a little bit, there's a couple of videos where I explain the differences, like strategies. And then there's another one where I do I just do a bunch of straddle videos on there. I think it's on the free side. I don't think I paywalled it. If I did, I apologize. But I think it's on the free side where I do a bunch of straddle questions in a row. Just remember, straddle has the same action, buy or sell, and different options. So it's like, there we go. Okay. So they have the same. So buy, call put is a long straddle. Sell, call put is a short straddle. And remember, short straddle stability. Here's a couple little pointers. On a spread, it's limited gain, limited loss, no unlimited anything. Remember that. Okay. Now, so a spread is buy a call, sell a call, or buy put, sell a put. So there are call spreads, which is 2 calls, or put spreads, which is 2 puts. If you're trying to find the direction, whether it's bullish or bearish, and this is where I'm going to end, you want to find the bigger premium. The bigger premium tells you. So if the bigger premium is a buy, it's a debit. If the bigger premium is a sell, it's a credit. Because remember, buy means debit. When you go to the store, you buy something, they debit your account. When you sell something, they credit your account. Okay? Buy means debit, sell means credit. Okay. Okay. Oh, ate it. I can ADD Patel. Okay. I don't know. Aditi Patel. Okay. Last thing to review. So take and then next week. So you have 10 days. Say 10 days. Keep taking finals. That's the big thing. Secondly, you want to, when you get closer, if you've done my brutal exams, that's good. I have a new one's coming out every few days. Maybe go take the one on my website, the series7exam.org, and see if you can pass that one. Shouldn't be a problem. Again, that one is not as close to the real exam as the brutals, but it's a good one. And it's as an MVP sandbox beta thing. I want you to do it and give me feedback on what you think. I think if you're in good, you seem to be in good shape leading up to it. Start going through the crunch and facts. That's a big thing. If you guys have STC, start going through the crunch and facts. It'll help you a ton. It really will. Okay. Next, I would say just go through my crash course, go through the crunch and facts, make sure you understand everything. And then if you really have to hone in on anything, mutual funds, annuities, and debt, a little lean on munis. Okay. 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 Can I explain? Yes. So minimum maintenance is 75%, right? So Reg T is what you have to deposit for the first time. So if I buy 10,000 in stock, I deposit 5. If I buy 20, I deposit 5. If I short 30, I deposit 15. Okay. So it's all Reg T is initial, and you use it when you're calculating SMA. If my Reg T is 40 and my equity is 50, I have 10 grand SMA. If my Reg T is 40 and my equity is 30, I have no SMA unless it was created already. So understand that that's where we are, is that equity, that Reg T is all about the initial margin requirement and what they would like you to have. Anything over that is SMA, which is excess equity. Like if you buy a house, it's what you can borrow. However, the 75% thing is a kind of a trick. Now, if they say what is minimum maintenance, like what's the least amount of money you can have in the account, okay, that is 25%. That's fine. Market value times 25%. But if they say how low can the stock go, okay, if they say how low can the stock go, Aros, where is it? Aros, okay. If they say how low can the stock go, you do debit divided by 0.75. I'm not even going to write it down. Just remember it. If they say you have a market value of 30 and a debit balance of 10, how low can the stock go before you get a maintenance call? You could do 10 times divided by 0.75 and you get like, I don't know, like 13.3 or something. But the point is you're going to do the debit divided by 0.75 to find out how low the market can go before you hit a maintenance. They're different. One is what is minimum maintenance. That's market times 25% or 30 if it's a short. If they say how low can the stock go before you hit minimum maintenance, it's debit divided by 0.75. That's it. Okay.
Can I hit a question here?
Go ahead.
Let's have some fun here. Take a look at this one. You know these are my favorite.
I'm here. Hold on. I'm here. Don't worry. I'm here. Okay. I'm 40 and changing careers. Taking the SIE soon since this material is totally new to me. How much are I actually using on a daily basis? None of it. Just using it. No, to be fair, I've had a lot of students come to me and they go, I'm in meetings all the time. And after working with me or watching the classes or joining the membership groups, they email me and go, when they talk in the meetings, I understand some of this stuff now. That's the cool part is some of them go, oh, I understand some of it. So they really think it's very cool. Okay. I think probably 90% of it you won't use. Like, think about this. If you go to Edward Jones, they don't do options. So if you take the 7 and 20% of the test is options, you're using none of that. They don't do over the counter. Like if you work at a big firm, you're probably not doing over the counter. You're not a lot of the stuff you're not doing. So I think it's mostly just to get past the test, one. And two, here's the thing, you will use some of it, something. Like Jeff was a bond guy. He didn't do a lot of equities. But when he went to the firm where we met, he did do equities. So you do learn. I mean, you will touch on it. But some of the little stuff, and the prohibition shit is a matter. Like some of it's good to learn. Like if you want to open an account, you got to get permission from your firm. They are trying to relax that. There's a couple of things they're trying to do with outside jobs they're trying to do, and then I think outside business activities, and then outside accounts are trying to do something too. But whatever. But like the gift rule, if you want to give Ken a gift, if he works in another firm, you can give $300 a year now versus $100, stuff like that. Okay. So I think the prohibited activities and all what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do will be in your life. But go ahead.
Here's the thing that I'm curious, and Alex, if you feel free to post, what you're doing. Are you I assume you're looking to be a financial advisor, but are you looking to be a financial advisor at a broker dealer, or are you looking to become a registered investment advisor? And hopefully you've looked into both of those things. If you haven't, I would say, look it up on ChatGPT or, one of those, because there's a difference in working for a broker dealer versus an RIA versus which exams you take. I'm not trying to confuse you, but I'm just saying your course remember, the idea is not to take as many exams as you can. The idea is to get the license that fits the career that you want to go to.
I love it. I like it.
And actually with that, I'd like to post a question.
Sure.
Because I mentioned it. Added it at the bottom here. Ready?
What's the question?
Hang on. How are you using AI to help you study?
That's
because I know everybody's using AI. I was going to ask, are
even
you
the
using
kids?
AI? Right. So we're past that. But what I'm saying is, how are you using it to study? Are you using it to? Are you looking for questions out of it? Are you looking to get clarity?
Now, do you have the best practices? Do you not now? After Len,
yes.
After people answer, I want to know what you think. Now, remember, in about 10 minutes, hopefully 5 minutes, the guy's a good guy coming on. Hopefully, it'll come on. It's the first time I'm trying to invite someone, so it may fail. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, after that, we'll definitely talk about it. So please,
Yes.
guys, answer how are you using AI and be as specific as you can. Don't be like, I use this. Don't say I use Claude or just you can tell me what you use, but let's give like some specifics because you never know. Somebody may go, oh my God, that's a great idea. Okay. Oh yeah. See, yeah, that's the thing. I don't use the T chart because I think that's from like the 1900s, the late 1900s. So I don't really do that. I think there's a better. If you have Kaplan, if you can take the class with Mark Esposito, he's the best teacher they have. If you take a class with him, he teaches it the same way I do, where I find the break even. Now, here I'm going to help you out with the spread. I'm going to give you break even, but the rest you gotta either join the membership or drown. Okay, so now when you have a spread, it's buy call, sell call. First thing you do, what do? We subtract the premium. So if you have a spread, you could buy call, sell call. That's always the way it is. You're gonna because it's a buy sell. Whenever you have two options, you do something with the premiums. If it's a straddle, you add them. If it's a spread, you subtract. Okay. So we're gonna go take the two premiums, subtract them from each other. So if you have a premium of 7 and then a premium of 3, you're gonna go 7 minus 3. That's 4. So now that's your net premium. That's your number. If that's a spread and it's a call spread, call up, put down. Right. So you're gonna add it to the bottom. So if it's you're going to sucker me into doing this, aren't you? No. So let's say our net premium is 4 and our spread is 40-50. Now, you remember something. In real world, whenever I had my traders, they would never call up and say, I want to buy a 40 call and a 50 call. They would say, they wouldn't say do a debit spread. They would say, I want to buy the 40-50 call spread for this or that. So here's our upper and our lower. Okay. So here's our net premium. Here's our upper lower. If this is a call spread, you add to the bottom. So it'll be 44. If this is a put spread, you subtract to the top. It'd be 46. It is not about bull bear. It is not about debit or credit. It is literally call up, put down. Some people do the cow push. It's fine. But it's call up, put down. Call up, put down. Ken, say that back to me. If it's a spread, I add to the bottom for a call spread. I subtract from the top for a put spread. Get that in your head. Now, if it is where's my eraser? Here, good. If it is a straddle, you're adding the premiums because there's 2 buys or 2 sells, and then you add to the call and subtract to the put because there's 2. The hardest part to remember is that a straddle has two break evens. Okay.
Ooh, we're getting really good comments in here.
I know they're getting stuff
for AI and things. Yeah, this is great. Everybody stay on. We'll get to all of them.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Agamora. Okay. I love that. That's awesome. 60. See, I'm telling you.
There you go. 69, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome.
Ich schau nach links, ich schau nach rechts. Was für geile Leute. Ich schau nach links, links, links. Ich schau nach rechts, rechts, rechts. Was für geile Leute. Ich schau.
Awesome.
Should we broadcast from Oktoberfest?
What?
We go over there and do a
that
live.
That would be great. Let's go.
With those
you're going to Panama in January, so no, you can't. Okay.
I don't know which.
Actually,
January.
you might have until the following January. We're not sure. No, she's definitely getting married in January. I'll be small in this one and then the big one the following year. Because it's just it's
2
money.
weddings.
Yeah. Okay. Matt, what are you getting? If you're passing my brutals, you're in good shape. It doesn't mean anything. It just means you're passing my brutals, you're in good shape. It means you know enough to pass. Just keep taking tests, baby. KB, don't be nervous. We got this, baby. The question is, I don't know what you're scoring. Tell me what your scores are. That's going to help me more than anything else. Tell me what your scores are before I do anything.
And remember, it's not about how many exams you take. Just remember that. It's the quality.
It's how well you
study.
take them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Good. Okay. Good. So it is where you are. But if you're passing your pass perfect, you should be fine. And remember, options on pass perfect and Kaplan will pull your score down. On the real exam, they'll pull them up. Okay. Can I play in 404C? So this is if it's the one I think it is. I don't ever in the numbers. If you are a sponsor of a pension plan or a 401k or something, and you're you're running it for your firm or whatever, you have all your employees doing it. If they lose money, they can technically sue you. However, if you do these three things, they can't. Number one, you have to give them 3 different levels of diversification. Risk-free, not risk-free, but low risk, mid-risk, high risk. Right? Give them 3. 3 is it. Okay, that's 1. You have to give 3 levels of diversification. 2, you have to give them education on diversification and shit like that. And 3, you have to give them the ability to change their own stuff quarterly. Because if you do that, you gave them enough room to hang themselves. You gave them enough choices to be able to make their own independent choices. Okay. Boy, it's raining. How bad was the storm by you? Did it hit you hard?
No, I mean, I didn't really get hit.
I thought we were going to lose power. I definitely, I guarantee somewhere around me, we lost. Somebody got hit because I don't think I've ever had it that close. I don't think I've ever heard lightning hit that close. Oh, look at that. Okay. So welcome on. We got this. I think you can hear me. So we're adding in. So it's 8 o'clock. Perfect timing. It worked. We're going to add Max. Hey, Max, how are you?
Doing well. How are you, Ken?
Good.
So glad to
Max,
be here.
This is my partner, Jeff.
Jeff, good to meet you. How are you?
All right.
So quick thing. So understand what it is. Max runs Wall Street Mastermind. Okay. Basically, their job is helping students land jobs at all the big firms and the boutique banks. Okay. Now, he's been in the business for a while. He worked at Lazard. And how do you say that other firm?
Catalyst. If you know, you know.
I should know that. Okay. Right. So they're big time investment bankings. They were doing great. I love Lazard. So tell me a bit about yourself first.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the introduction. Like Ken said, my name is Max Adams. I'm the head coach at Wall Street Mastermind, which basically means I live, eat, sleep, breathe, helping students get top finance jobs. And so it's funny, Ken and I connected because he's helping students, qualify for the jobs, and then I help them get the jobs in the first place. Yep. And so there's a lot of overlap in what we do. But my background personally, as Ken was saying, is in tech investment banking. So I was at Lazard and Catalyst, which in my opinion are 2 of the best tech investment banks in the world, before going into private equity and then doing grad school at Stanford and Harvard. And more recently, running Wall Street Mastermind, where we've worked with about 2,300 students at this point, about a 90% success rate, placing them into high finance. So tremendously proud of what we've been able to do there.
That's awesome. So now I was talking to Mike earlier today. He said, I've always noticed your stuff is more toward the IB and PE stuff, but I think he said you're starting to see a lot more wealth management stuff people come in, right?
Yeah. Oh, so absolutely.
So are you seeing any trends or any, I'm going to put you out to questions of guys before I ask him, if anyone has questions about recruiting, interviews, job, if he's seeing anything in the job, because he's more connected with that than we are. We're just helping you get past. Max is helping you get the job. Okay. So if you guys have questions, throw them in there. Jeff, you watch to see if anything pops in for me.
Yep. I'm watching.
And so what are you seeing right now in that space?
Yeah, for sure. So something that we're seeing in finance recruiting broadly is that investment banking is just taking it's exploding. And so 10 years ago and stuff, it's people didn't really know what investment banking was. They're like, oh, you're going to go be a teller at JP Morgan Chase or something. And now the number of applicants has literally 10x'd in the last decade or something like that.
Wow. And
so when I applied to JP Morgan, when I got an offer there back in a decade ago, it probably was a mid-single digits acceptance rate at these firms. And last year, JP Morgan had 630,000 applicants and a 0.7% acceptance rate. And so it literally was harder for me to get a job at JP Morgan than it was for me to get into Harvard, which is crazy. Yes. And so it's become absolutely absurd. And as a result of that, I would say, and as a result of sort of the democratization of access to these top investment banks, where you're starting to get kids there, not just at Wharton and not just at NYU and not just at Columbia, they're going for this, but people from random state schools like me. And as a result of that, the entire ecosystem has become, I would say, broader. And so,
do you think target schools are less important now than they were?
The school is less important. And it's not that is it helpful? If you say, hey, Max, I'll give you 2 candidates and one of them goes to Harvard, then it's going to be easier for me to help the Harvard kid get a job. But there is a lot of momentum coming from state schools and stuff. And so if you say, give me the average kid at Harvard or give me the best kid at UT San Antonio or something like that, I might take the best kid at UT San Antonio. because they've
Yeah.
got a lot of times they've got hustle, and then once they have information access that like Wall Street Mastermind provides and YouTube provides and things like that,
Mhm.
they're able to circumvent the process and network their way in. And so
Right.
school matters less than it used to.
That's awesome. No, before KB has a question for you, but
Yep.
are you seeing AI impact at all?
Absolutely. It is changing everything. And so I was recently actually just doing a podcast episode with the CEO of an investment bank, a top investment bank in technology. And, there's a lot of debate around this because you get JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon and stuff. They're saying, hey, we're going to cut all of the headcount. We're not going to have analysts anymore and things like that. This guy, he said to me, he said, Max, if my analysts are getting twice as productive, I'm just going to hire twice as many analysts. And so although there's a lot of fear in the marketplace, I think that there's a good case to be made for the number of analysts staying approximately flat, maybe down a little bit, maybe up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to plummet over the next decade or something like that.
Got it.
And I'm happy to talk more about that if folks have questions about, Javon's paradox and how it's impacting things. We actually just released a course called AI for High Finance. That if there's a chat here, I can drop that in. Is there?
You put definitely in the chat. I just put your link for the YouTube in the chat.
Awesome.
Yeah. Can you see the chat? If not, if you send it to me,
yep,
you can put it
I'll
in.
send it over. But yeah, did we have a couple questions?
I think KB asked one. Hold on.
Yep.
Well, here we go.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Let me pull it up. It
Yeah, no
says,
worries.
what's the job outlook for private wealth analysts? Okay, yeah. So this is a great question, KB. Thanks for asking. So private wealth, like I was kind of getting into, has also exploded in terms of like interest for folks. And as like the economy becomes more turbulent, like a lot more people are trusting people to handle their wealth. And so it's one of those really counterintuitive things where maybe 3 years ago, everyone was saying, oh, AI is going to eat private wealth management. And it's got like everyone's got to do robo advisors and things like that. And that's kind of true, especially at the bottom end of the market. But as wealth has exploded and as the number of billionaires and millionaires has absolutely exploded, it's counterintuitively created, sort of the K-shaped economy. And so you're getting robo advisors on sort of like the lower middle wealth, where a lot of people are getting access to wealth advisory services, but you're also getting a much larger pie of affluent people that are demanding wealth analysts. And so more and more students in Wall Street Mastermind are coming to me and they're saying, Max, like I want a job in private wealth management. How do I do that? And I'm saying, okay, great. I've hired coaches to do that. I've written guides on that and stuff. And so if you DM me on LinkedIn stuff, I'll send you my private wealth management guide. But I was, it sounds like Ken was just talking with one of our students, Mike, who successfully landed a double offer at JP Morgan and Goldman Wealth Management.
Yeah.
Super proud of him.
Yeah. And he's not even graduated yet.
Yeah. Hasn't even graduated. So
I know. That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He has about a year left. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's
he's absolutely
amazing.
crushing it. Yeah.
No, it's awesome. So Butterfly has, and I know who she is, but she's on there. So this is a great question too.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the best way to navigate job changes when you've been licensing with a particular firm? Verbal commitments is a better way to navigate the different firms. So there's a couple of different ways you can think about this. The first thing is like, how do you do the job changes? And then the second is you're asking about some of the licensing components and also like the commitment components. So I'll talk about the second part first, and then I'll talk about the how. And so when you're deciding to switch firms, there's a few considerations. The first is obviously you've got to consider the relationships component because there are people who likely took a bet on you and who like maybe they sponsored you if you needed visa or they sponsored licenses and things like that. And so there's like a relational component. And I always tell my students, like, it is real. When you leave someone, it burns bridges. And I've left firms before and I've burned some bridges, and it's sad because you're like friends with these people, you're working with them. And so you have to be very thoughtful about it, give them as much notice, be very respectful, and explain that it's not about like, hey, I don't like you. It's that, hey, I really got to do this thing for my career. I'm so sad to leave. Really appreciate all you've given me. So that's kind of the messaging on it. Now, in terms of how to navigate those job changes, though, that's tricky. Because a lot of what I teach students how to do is to network and like reaching out to people, build relationships, and like get people to like them. Now, when you're lateraling between firms, it's trickier because you can't just like blast out 10,000 emails and say, hey, I'm looking to join your firm, or I'm looking to join JP Morgan, I'm looking to join Evercore or something like that, because that's just going to come back to your team and it's going to look really awkward. And so you've got to be subtle. And the way that I teach this is the plausible deniability test. I want you to send an email that is plausibly deniable, that if that goes back to your boss, it doesn't necessarily look like you're recruiting. And so instead of saying, hey, I'm a student at Duke trying to like look for investment banking jobs at Goldman, you say, hey, I'm a student at Duke trying to crush my current internship at Houlihan Lokey, and I'd love to get your advice and how you did that at your internship in Goldman.
There you go.
And so there's like a subliminal message that, yeah, you'd like to work at Goldman, but if that goes back to your boss, it's just an intern who's trying to do a good job, you know?
That's
and
fair.
so there's a little bit of a
No,
pulse
that's
in that.
great. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have one person who's she's actually, she knows she's leaving because she has to leave because her husband is in the army and he's getting transferred. And she's trying to figure out she's taking her test next month and she's trying to figure, and I'll tell her what we talk about it. She's saying, how do I tell them without burning the bridge? I think if you're saying my husband's being transferred, I think you're set. But she's trying to make it where she doesn't want to make them mad because she's literally she knows now she's moving. She's taking the test next month and they don't know yet. Yeah. So I guess same thing, just kind of be honest, right?
So there's some honesty component to it, but there's a spectrum of reasons to leave a firm. Right. On the very, very worst side of the spectrum is, hey, I'm leaving to your competitor because I hate you.
Right.
Like that's the stuff that's going to burn bridges. On the sort of like less bad side of the spectrum, there's like leaving to a different industry altogether. People don't usually mind that. Like if you're going from investment banking and you're going to go become a NASCAR driver, like they're going to be like, okay, that's weird. Do your thing. Though, happy for you. Yeah. And then if you, on the other side of things, there's also lifestyle circumstances. And so whenever I've worked with someone who like is having like some serious health problems, or they've got like some family that needs something, or, you know, they've got a parent or friend or family member or something that's in the military and they're moving locations, like you can't do anything about that. People aren't going to hold that against you. And so the more you can take, you know, that I hate you, I'm leaving your firm, and position it as a, hey, I've just got to do totally something different for my benefit. This is personal. I love you guys. Gas up the ego. That's going to be really good. Yeah. Also, just consider it from their perspective. Like fundamentally, no offense to you, I'm sure you're great. They don't really care about you. They care about getting the job done. Yep. And so if you give them enough time to get the job done, get that replaced, then they're not going to mind whether it's you doing it or someone else.
Fair enough. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff, you had a question maybe?
Yeah. So let me, I have a couple questions. What do you think? You know, we have people on here that are entering the business, and then we have people who are like, you know, making a career change. Where do you see the most potential? So for somebody who's like, because a lot of people are coming on here, they know that they want to go into the financial services industry or, you know, the financial markets, and they're starting with their SIE. Yeah. How would you guide somebody who's like knows they want to be around, you know, the market in general, but how to pick a career? Because like we go, like I say, like, you know, even with being just a regular plain financial advisor, do you want to do it at a broker dealer, or do you want to do it at a registered investment advisor, where, you know, that would be the difference between the 7, 63, 66, or just taking the 65, opening up your own firm versus joining like a team at like a Goldman or a JP Morgan that's doing, you know, institutional money and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. These are great questions. And so what I'm going to say is like, there's no right answer here. Where everybody like has different goals, different personality traits and stuff. And so one of my favorite things about being a coach is just sitting down with people and like actually figuring that out. Now, obviously in this format, I'm just going to provide a couple general tips. And Ken, I did just send you a message. I'm not posting it directly in the chat for a quiz basically that I released where it talks through this. It's like, okay, like what are you interested in? Are you interested in just like making a bunch of money? Do you like working by yourself? Do you like working with other people?
Exactly.
What are your goals? And that kind of like helps position what sort of finance stuff you have. And so feel free to drop that in the chat if
I am trying to find it first of all.
On Slack, I sent it to you.
Oh, got it. Okay.
But
I'll update it. That's fine.
But yeah, so the way that I would think about it is like there's really a few things that people optimize for in their careers. The first is something that they're good at. And so that's something where you got to like think about your skill set and like what actually gets you up in the morning. For me, my skill set and the thing that I love most is just helping students, like talking with them, you know, teaching them, you know, filming content about them and things like that. That's just really fun to me. And so for a lot of students, they're just absolute savants and they like want to do public investing because like they tear apart stock charts and things like that. And that's awesome. Other students that I talk to, they're just charmers. And so they go and they want to build a book of like wealth management clients because they can sell the socks off a billionaire. And then there's other people that just like really enjoy the grind and they want to push themselves and work hard and like do intense work. And I'm like, okay, yeah, banking might be a good fit for you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is something that like people that they can get paid for. And so this is something where like investment banking is notorious and it shines. And so I actually just want to share a little bit of data on this. It looks like it'll let me share my screen here.
Yep.
And so I'm just going to share our earnings calculator on this. And again, if you want to go play around with this, you can DM me on LinkedIn. I'll send over the links to the spreadsheet and stuff like that.
Sure.
But you can kind of see the way that this is broken down, where we've got it compared to like some other careers and things like that. And we've also got it if you're curious about like your school and stuff like that. So you can kind of see like how banking compares to like average business and new college grads and people at your school and things like that. But one of the biggest comparisons that we get is like sales and trading and equity research are two other big areas that our students are pretty interested in. And the good news is if you go into any of these jobs, like you're going to be fine. You're going to be putting bread on the table. Like it's good. But there is a pretty substantial difference, I would say, between the top sort of areas of finance in investment banking and the lower ones. Now, one other thing that people don't realize is that even within IB, there's a huge variance in terms of like the outcomes and stuff. And so we break down the types of banks from like elite boutiques, like, Lazard and Catalyst, through bulge bracket banks like, Bank of America and Citi and Wells Fargo and things like that. And then you get like middle market regional banks and regional boutiques and things like that. And so what you'll notice is that over the first 7 years of your career cumulatively, it's about $1 million difference in earnings top to bottom. And honestly, these numbers have gone up in the last year or two. Like this is a little bit outdated data. And so that gap, I think, has even widened a little bit over time. Now, the other thing that people optimize for, so we talked a little bit about like matching your skill set. We talked a little bit about earnings potential. The third thing that a lot of people maximize is just optionality, because many students and myself included, when I was in school, like they just don't know exactly what they want to do out of school. And so they just maximize the optionality. And so that is another reason where like a lot of students that come to us and don't know what they want to do, they do end up choosing investment banking. And again, I'm not here to like sell investment banking. It's not for everyone, but a lot of students that don't know exactly what they do want to do it because it opens up other doors. And so coming out of IB, they're able to go into a lot of other different areas. And so it's like a fairly good default path that just enables them to decide what they want to do down the road. So that's a little bit about how I think about it. Obviously, it's a very personal thing. So go take that quiz if Ken dropped that.
I dropped the links in the chat, so they're there. So I have a link to, now Max also runs a massive Reddit subreddit called Finance, even though I tell everyone to stay off Reddit, finance students, okay? But it's really good. It's super supportive. It's great stuff. A lot of information. I have your one thing that you put in there, and then I put I think it's there. Let's see if it works, because I tried to copy it. Let's see if it works for me.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it.
Yeah.
So somebody did have a question before Jeff get more. This is right in your wheelhouse.
Awesome. Please do. Okay. So currently working in wealth management, how should I approach switching careers to private credit? Okay. This is great. So very different careers, as I'm sure you're aware, but the transition is possible. And so there's a couple of things that you need to do. The first thing is the long play, which is building experience that sort of positions in that area. And so in wealth management, there's like a variety of different projects you can work on, a variety of different types of clients you can work on. And I would index towards stuff that enables you to interact with private credit. And so to the extent that you're able to like recommend credit offerings to your student or to your clients, or that you're able to like engage with that side of things, do analysis on it, do original research and present it to your clients or to your team or something like that, then that will build up real resume bullets that will actually appeal to the private credit side of things. So that's the first thing that I'd recommend is just like positioning the actual experience towards it. Then the second thing is just relationships. And it's always about relationships. So once you've built up the resume bullets that supports a credible story of transitioning to private credit, it's about the relationships. That's the second thing. And so I always recommend networking as the first and foremost tool that people have in terms of switching careers. And so what I encourage you to do, Gavin, is I would go out there and I'd build a list of the top private credit firms you want to work with. So to find 20 or 30 firms that you're excited about, use Claude, use Codex or something like that to build out that list, and then find the people at those firms and start doing cold email. And so if you don't know how to send the cold emails and stuff, again, DM me. I'll send you like some links to like email templates and email trackers and whatnot. Happy to share those resources. But you need to start reaching out to people. It can be awkward. It can be weird. It can be hard. But as you start to have those conversations, you're going to learn about which firms you want to work with. And they're also going to learn about Gavin. They're going to say, hey, I know this Gavin guy. And then when a job opens up, they're going to be like, oh, let me remind myself. I should go hire Gavin. So that's the second thing. So build up the resume by positioning yourself within your role towards private credit, build up the networking. Then the third thing is the behaviorals component. And so once you start getting on these networking calls and these like first round interviews and types of things like that, they're going to be asking like, why are you trying to switch? And why do we want someone coming from private wealth management? So if you're not able to explain the behaviorals trifecta of tell me about yourself, why private credit, and why our firm, then you're toast. And so come up with a story that works on those things. And so tell me about yourself should be about 2 minutes explaining who you are, what you're trying to do. And then why private credit, be able to crisply explain why you're interested in private credit. And then of course, why their firm specifically. A lot more detail we can get into there, but that's the third thing. Last but not least, the fourth thing is the technicals. So once you've gotten the resume down and you've done the networking, you're going to get interviews. You got to be able to explain who you are in those first round interviews through your behaviorals. And then the final gate that they're going to have you pass through is your technicals. And so do you understand credit? And it's hard. It's technical stuff. Like private credit is interesting because it exists at the intersection of finance and law. And so there's like twice as many different complexities to it as almost any other area of finance.
You do shorts on that, don't you? You do shorts on the technical stuff. I thought I've seen you do shorts on the technical, like that stuff, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So on YouTube, like if you want to go and watch a video on how to build a private credit model or something like that, odds are we have it on our channel. But that's the last little bit is just make sure that like you can nail the technicals. So what those four things.
What would you say about shadowing somebody, like asking somebody? Because I always thought that was a great way to get in somewhere. Just say, hey, could I just watch what you do for a couple hours? Come on in. You get dressed, let them get to see you. Pay attention. Ask intelligent questions, but don't ask too many, and get to really see what it's like to be in their world. Because a lot of people, it's not what they think a particular job is when they get into it.
Absolutely. If you can get someone to let you shadow them, you're golden. And so that's kind of that second piece is the networking. I would not lead with the, hey, can I come to your office for 4 hours? But once you have a conversation, they like you, they're willing to refer you. That could be a really good next step to take the relationship to another level.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say is a lot of times these finance types, especially in like an intense world like private credit, they can be pretty sensitive about confidentiality and stuff like that. And so don't be offended if they say no. It probably doesn't have anything to do with you. But if you can, then that's a good sign. They really like you. And that's almost guaranteed to get you past the first couple rounds of interviews if you've gotten that far.
Just open up a conversation. Even just to open up a conversation, like you're 100% correct. Those places are incredibly sensitive. It's like breaking into a bank vault.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it. But just to hear, if they're willing to like talk to you for a little bit, coffee, bring you to the office, meet you, whatever, take advantage of it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's that goes back to like one of the other key things about networking that I always tell my students is there's a spectrum of quality of networking. The worst type of networking is like email and just like messaging with people on LinkedIn or something like that. Asynchronous written communication. The next best thing is a phone call where you get them on the phone. You're actually like having a conversation like live a little bit. Then there's Zoom where you at least can see their face and like get the body language and stuff like that. But by far the most impactful type of networking is in person. And so it's a pain in the butt. But if you can fly out to New York or fly out to SF, fly out to LA and like actually show up at the office, shake a hand, they're going to remember you way more. I'll tell a quick story about this. So when I was at one of these top banks and I was like recruiting students and stuff, I got so many emails, like dozens of emails, just kids just saying like, hey, can I hop on the phone? Can I talk and whatever? And I would usually try and help them out. But a week later, I probably couldn't even quite remember their name. Now, contrast that. Once in a while, I'd get a student. I remember there was this kid who came by and he was like, hey, I'm going to show up at your office and I'm going to get coffee with you. And he did that, I think, multiple times. And so I actually started to remember his name. And then anytime that like a job opened, I was like, wait, I remember this guy. He was so dedicated about this. He was so interested in this that he actually came out. He demonstrated that he was excited. And like I was able to put a face to the name. And so anytime that you can do networking in person, that's going to be strong. If you can shadow them, awesome. Or if you can even just get lunch with them, that's going to be way better than a networking call. 5 times as good as a networking call.
Now, this is the thing I always think about. So the networking, you make the friend, you talk to them, you go, how do you follow up? How often do you follow up with them? Is it like once a month? Is it every 2 weeks? You don't want to seem like a jackass, right? But you also want them to forget about you.
Yeah, for sure. So that's two separate things is like how and when. Right. And so let's talk about the how first. And there's 3 times that you follow up with people. The first time is whenever you have a major life update. And so if you updated your resume, if you got a new internship, if you got a new job experience or something like that, you switch firms, that's a great chance to reconnect with people and say, hey, just wanted to give you a heads up, switched over to here, couldn't have done it without your advice, really appreciate it. And that can usually be a gateway to getting on another call. Second thing is when they have a major update. And so let's say that you're talking with someone and then they switch banks halfway through your networking. That's awesome. You say, congrats on the move to Jefferies. How'd that go? Love to hear about it. Do you have 15 minutes once you get settled? And then you hop on the phone and reconnect. Third way to reconnect with someone is a specific targeted question that only they can answer. And so you might come up with some sort of situation where you're saying, hey, I'm in the middle of my internship right now, and this interesting thing happened. Based off of your experience at Bank of America, I thought you might have an interesting experience or like an interesting perspective on that. Do you mind if I just get a quick take on it? And so following up and asking them something that's interesting. So that's the how. In terms of the when, I usually think about it as like a bouncing ball in reverse. And so you know how like a bouncing ball goes like this, sort of do, 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 do. It's
Right.
kind of like that, where this is when you need to recruit. And so at first, if you're like a year out, I'd probably wait a month and a half, 2 months or something like that.
Okay.
And then 3 weeks, and then 2 weeks. And then if you're like a month out, you probably want to like ping them closer and closer until you're basically having daily contact up through the interview process to when you get
Okay.
an offer.
Okay. Great stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that might be all the questions I have for you now.
Awesome.
But this was great. I love this. Jeff, do you have any stuff? Listen, Max, you can absolutely stay on and be bored for the next hour if you want. But I'm not going to make you stay for this. But Jeff probably has more questions.
I would say, and tell me if you agree with this, is when you go and you talk to these people, just be authentic, genuine, and don't try to impress somebody with all of your knowledge, because you're not going to outsmart these people when you're sitting in front. They do this, if you're talking about private equity, private credit, IB, they're doing this 16, 17 hours a day, every single day. You're not going to outsmart them. If you're talking to a bond guy, you're not going to say, you tell him that the 30-year treasury is at a 501. He's going to say, no, it's at a 4.98, because these guys are exact. So I think it's like, you want to be genuine, you want to show that you're intelligent, come prepared, but don't try to outwit them. Don't just be yourself.
Yeah. I'll share one more thought on that, and then I'll get out of your hair and turn it back over. So there's really important to make sure that you're asking the right questions. And so you're never going to outsmart them, and you never want to like try and flex on them with your intelligence.
Right.
And so the only tool you have to build rapport and relationship in this is asking good questions. And so you need to, of course, make sure that you're intelligent and like you come across as like you've done your research and things like that, even if you're not going to outsmart them. And so the things that I would always just recommend is several principles. First off, don't ask anything that you could find online. And so a lot of times students would show up in conversations with me and they'd say, like, how do you like working at, Lazard or like something like that? And they would mispronounce the name of the bank. And I'm like, okay, you could have looked that up online. And then they would ask me a question like, what group are you in? And I'm like, could have looked that up online. No. Second thing, don't ask yes, no questions. And so anytime you're on a conversation, think about how you could actually spark a conversation. And so I'll just give you an example. The worst version of this question is, have you worked on any deals recently? That's a yes or no question. I can say, yeah, I've worked on a few. That's kind of boring. And then I could ask that in a slightly more nuanced way, where I'd say, okay, what deals have you worked on recently? And that invites a little bit of a longer conversation, where I worked on this deal, I worked on this deal, I worked on this deal. And then the best way of that to ask that question is inviting them to tell a story. And so instead of saying, did you work on deals, yes or no? Or what deals did you work on, which is a what question, you say, tell me about your favorite deal that you worked on.
Right.
And that invites a longer conversation.
Or the worst one or whatever. Right, exactly.
Yeah. Whatever that case is. And then the last thing that I would say is the best questions are follow-up questions that don't feel like you're reading off of a script. And so make sure that you're actually following the flow of the conversation and acting like a normal human being. And that requires you to do enough preparation that you can go off script.
Yep.
Because if you haven't done that preparation in the first place, you're you're just not going to get there. Now, the last thing that I'll just finish with is a little bit of an anecdote about relationship building. Because at the end of the day, networking has a little bit of a dirty word feel to it, where it feels icky, it feels slimy. But I want you to reframe it and think about it as just relationship building. And I was interviewing for a position, a year or two ago, and I thought I crushed it. So we talked for a little bit, and I was like, hey, I'm really excited to learn about this firm and, you know, share a little bit about myself. And so what questions do you have for me? And then we jumped in, we did the interview. I thought I crushed it, and they just flat out rejected me. And so I emailed them back afterwards, and I was like, hey guys, you know, I thought we had a really good conversation. I'd love any feedback just to make sure that I can do better the next time. I was really sorry that we didn't move forward. And they said, Max, there were two pieces of feedback that we have here. The first is we were looking to hire someone for the long haul in this role. Like this was a big role. And especially like if you're recruiting for VP positions out of business school, like I was, you know, those are $1 million a year positions that are decades long. And so he said, you skipped out the small talk after 2 minutes. Like I wanted to get to know you. I wanted to build a relationship. I didn't just want to grill you. And so don't skip the small talk at the beginning of the networking. And then the second piece of feedback they said is, Max, your keyboard is too damn loud. You're taking notes the whole time. So make sure that as you're networking, don't make stupid mistakes like that. So with that, thank you so much for having me on, Ken and Jeff.
Really I want to ask you a fun question.
Oh,
do you take two things? Are you a watch guy?
A very, very crappy watch. I have a nice enough watch that looks like I'm a watch guy.
Okay. Now the other thing is when you that's great because there's all these Instagram all over talking about what watch to have when you're an analyst versus associate. But the bigger thing is when you working, did you take off keys off your keyboard?
Oh, so this is a funny one. So I'm a little bit OCD where I like need my keyboard to be perfect. I was always using that like air spray to like blust out the crumbs and things like that. My VP, he would come over every day and he'd take his key out of his pocket and nick off my F1 key.
Yes.
And he'd throw it on the desk and I'd say, thanks, John. And then I would wait till he left and I would just put my F1 key back. And I said, if you're not good enough to not hit your F1 key, then you don't deserve to be here in the first place.
The other one they knock off is a caps lock, I think.
Oh yeah, the caps lock.
So thanks. So networking helped me land roles. So Melissa just said networking help her land roles for everything. Now I'm putting Max's links for this YouTube, and then I just got his LinkedIn. I think that's right. Yeah. So there's Max's LinkedIn, his YouTube. Go check him out on Wall Street Mastermind. A lot of good shorts he's putting out there, stuff like that. I did do a podcast with him, 2 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah.
And we're going to go from there. I didn't curse at all on that thing, which is pretty good.
Wow.
I know that's like a thing. So listen, you go have a good night. There's your links. Anyone go on, check out his channel. It has really good stuff, and reach out to him on LinkedIn. He'll send you that. One thing, I wonder if you should, you know, that graph you did, I wonder if you should put another one for like wealth management. Like if that's another thing you can compare. It's a little wide vary, but it's not bad.
I'll have to see if I can track down some good data on it.
That'd be hard to do, but okay.
Yeah.
Max, thank you very much for coming on. I love this.
For having
we'll have
me.
to do it again.
Pleasure talking.
Thank
Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good on.
No, that was awesome. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. Okay. Nice to have a break for a little bit. And I could go for another hour from it.
I always love hearing about that kind of stuff.
I know it's great.
And like, you know, getting back to the exams and relating it back to what's going on here, you know, that like getting the, you know, passing the exam is sometimes the easy part.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's everything else.
Yeah.
It's building the clients. It's making the connections, whether you're a financial advisor, you're an investment banker, whatever you're going to do, you know, getting the job, you know. So I always say, like, I'm saying that to take pressure off of people.
Right.
You can learn the exam. Just prepare well for it.
Yeah.
And then
don't make it bigger than it is.
And I think it's more important to pick the right path than to panic about the exam.
I agree. 100%. Okay. Now, C. Bentley, I don't know if he's still here. Hopefully, I think I don't see anyone. I didn't see a lot of people leave. So I think that was really valuable to me. I loved hearing that because I got to hear other things like he believes that I agree with him that AI is going to make you guys better. Like somebody texted me the other day asking about AI and like with their jobs. And I said, no, you know what? It's not going to ruin the advisors. It's going to make the good advisors better because you're not going to worry about the little grunt stuff. But that also means you guys need to have your game. You have to be on your game and be up. Like if you're a grunt work and you're just grinding, you're going to get fucked. But if you have any sort of talent and you want to do the work and you want to learn, you're going to be fine on this because it will, and especially for older people. I'm telling you right now, younger people, we're good. But if you're career changing in 30s and 40s and 50s, I know 30s isn't really old, but if you're getting older on that, the AI actually evens the playing field. Because, you know, like I was talking about the keyboard thing, they take off caps lock and F1. They do Excel without a mouse. I don't. But you know what happens with AI? You can actually do all those things without having to worry about knowing every single formula in Excel. Okay. Now, C. Bentley, if you're still here, Your scores are the 78 in the baseline is fine. You got to pass 3 in a row. This is what I tell everyone. When you are taking exams, they go, when should I schedule? When you pass 3 in a row, not squeaking by, passing 3 in a row, good. Okay. You know what I mean? When you're passing 3 in a row in your stuff, okay, in like in the mid 70s, whatever it is, solidly, you don't feel like you're guessing, then you book it for a week later. Don't sit there. Like what a lot of people do is they book it to give pressure. They book it for like August 10th, so they feel pressure. The problem is shit happens in life, and all of a sudden now you got to pay to change it. I'd rather you now, to be fair, if you're in New York, the chances of you getting a slot not in Westbury or Westport, Westbury or Fair Lawn, New Jersey before September right now is tough because every firm in the world has every slot picked up. They will open up there. I don't know if you guys knew this, but the firms can actually grab seats on Prometric. And there was a big problem with Prometric over the weekend. But they can grab slots without a name on them. So in January, they can book all of August, take the whole month of August on what they think they're going to have, and then put names in. But they have to release it a week before if they haven't used it. So it's interesting. So they can take away. So literally there's going to be no openings, and all of a sudden you'll see a whole bunch of them open up. So
refresh.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep doing a call. Right, exactly.
Can we go back to just because people took the time to answer a couple?
Yeah, do the AI thing. Yeah, do the AI thing. Yeah.
So here's one. I was using AI until my session last week with Mike and was told absolutely not.
Right.
I think in that case, I think what Mike is basically trying to say is the books are still, studying from
he's old too.
He's old, but you still want to go with a structured study program. You still want to use a Kaplan, an STC, an Achievable, a Pass Perfect. They're still the benchmarks because, you can have the hallucinating on the AI and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it even lags and where it's pulling the data from. The biggest thing in AI is the source of truth. And sometimes you don't always get that. So it can be used as a tool, but it should not be used solely as your main study guide. Here's another one, AI for memory tricks and language simplification. Great. That's actually very creative to come up with turn this into a poem or something like that. Here's another one. I ask AI to explain something to me I don't understand, but if I'm a child. That's a great example of, if you don't understand an answer, you don't understand what you're reading, you put that language in there and it'll translate it for you. Let's see. This one also put super helpful. Yes, I want to go be a registered investment advisor. This is what we were talking about before with that person that was starting with the SIE. Thanks for the response. I've not used AI yet. I'm doing well so far on Achievable, and that might be fine. Also, you don't have to use AI. Here's one for Claude. I use Claude if I don't understand something, having a brain fart. I ask it to explain this to me like I'm a child. Great example there. Same thing here. Using chat to answer the questions I was getting wrong to create I'd be careful here about making a practice.
We're going to have a chat about that one.
Yeah, this one can get a little dicey there, but we can come back to that. And then here is another one. I used to take the missed questions and feed them into AI and make them analyze what to do next. I would say if you can help, if you put the question and the answer in, it might be able to explain it to you as to why that answer. And I think it'll, put it in that direction. And we'll do one more here. Been using GPT and Gemini to test myself on our responsibility questions that we can. Some of the answers haven't been updated though. Like okay. Here, this is a good example, like the gifting. For 2026, this is where you've got to be careful, and you don't want to say
concepts, not details. Concept, not details.
Yes, absolutely. And let me see if there's anything else. Let me see. I think that was pretty much it. Yeah. Okay. Back to you.
Okay. So one thing I want to add on the GPT Gemini Claude thing, if you have them bring up questions, okay? If you listen, and I can't stress this enough, Do not use that as a gauge of whether you're ready or not, because I found out through many, many trials and tribulations that Claude and GPT and all of them, they make questions, but all of their answers are arguably correct, like literally 2 court of law correct. And a lot of times they put the answer in the answer or the answer in the question. So what happens is you have to make sure that they're not giving, it's more for concepts, okay? But you will always score better on AI, on GPT ones or any kind of AI one, because they don't understand the nuance of a question. And I got mine to do that. I get a little bit, and I have to reprompt it. I read like 20 questions when I do it, where they go, like they'll put an answer choice that's partially correct. Like literally, they'll say all of them are wrong and one is right, and it's blaringly right. So what happens is you think you're good when the real exam is like there's 2 questions that are pretty damn close to each other. Or the one thing I noticed and I figured out, a lot of the questions, they'll give you 4 answers and 3 of them are true somewhere else. Not on what, like, they'll say, oh, this is true here, but not for you, but that's a wrong answer, but it sounds true. They really do a good job. The actual exam does a good job of throwing you FU questions. GPT, Claude, AI, Perplexity, all of that, they're not as good at psychological games as that. They think they are, and they go, oh, I did this for you. And then you look and you go, no, you didn't. You literally put the answer in you literally put the answer in the answer. Like it'll say, like, oh, rule 144. Under 144, you can only sell this. That's the answer. Or they'll always do A every time. You have to really work hard at it. So it's good to do questions, but that's not the gauge of whether you're ready or not. It's really to see if you know your shit. The other thing I do is I put voice on GPT and I go, look, I put the voice on and I have a conversation with my Australian girlfriend, right? So what happens is I will say, this is what I know about common stock. For the SIE exam, what am I missing? And then I have a conversation. If I'm doing the 7, I will say, listen, come at me with a scenario. I'm going to make a recommendation to you. You ask me questions on stuff like that. Have a conversation, because the more you understand it, because that's how I teach. Literally, when I teach I ask questions. I can't do it here, but when I'm tutoring, if you join the membership classes, ooh, shameless plug. If you do the Zoom classes or lessons with me, the entire time is me asking you questions. So you're talking, and that's what you want. You don't want it talking for you. You want it talking in, going, yes, you're right. Oh, don't forget this. Don't forget that. That's what you want. It's concepts. Okay. Here we go. I'm only an hour behind, but that's okay. It's worth it. Okay. For this 7, STC's out of all the vendors, STC is the closest. Okay. But if you go to what you want to do is go to my brutal exams and do those. If you go to the brutal exams, those exams are the closest you're going to get to the test. Yes, it's on a video, so you have to watch it. What you do is, like, I started this like 5 years ago. You come in, you see the question, you press pause, you answer it, and then you do it, and you hear it yourself. Okay. And other people have copied what I do, which is wonderful. I feel honored. Okay. Okay. Okay, Manuel. Okay. It depends, right? So if it's 66 and ended at 76, you're in good shape. If you're at 76, 74, 72, 65, not so good. But if you're consistently going up, and remember, if it's STC, they get harder as you go up. So if you're starting at 66 in the beginning and you work your way up and you're doing better, you're in good shape. Okay. My God. So Gavin, this is great. So you have a lot of time. I would, since you're scoring right there, and it looks like you've only taken 3 exams because you only have 3 scores, right? So maybe take 1 or 2 more, then go back and read the lowest sections. Since you're taking on the 25th, you literally have a month minus 3 days, right? Or so. Go back and just, after you do 1 more exam, figure out the lowest sections and spend like now through Monday, through Sunday, just reading, watching videos, going over that stuff, build up the knowledge, then go back to doing tests. Because you can't take tests for 25 days. You're going to start memorizing. So maybe you got to do just bump it up a little bit. Okay. Okay. Kelsey, I don't really have any brutal exams. I have, you're not the problem. I promise you. So if you go to, here's a couple of things you can do. If you want to test yourself, go to Achievable. They have a free practice exam on there. I have links. If you go to the link in my thing, you can get there. If you go into, I say up, but I don't know where the hell it is on that. I guess it's right there. Like that button right there. If you hit open up. Guys, if you liked what we were doing, by the way, hit like and subscribe. You're asking if you have subscribed. If not, fuck you. But if you really like it, hit a like and share this shit to someone you think it would be good for. Now, the SIE, if you go to Achievable, they have a free one. If you go to Notman Marks, they have a free one. I don't have one on my website yet, but it'll be there soon. Okay, so now I'm working on it. Okay, now the other one is if you go to my practice exam playlist and you hit the first 5 are exams. Okay, the first one is close to the exam. You know, FINRA has one, which is good. The FINRA looks like the exam. My brutals, which just look like the exams. That's all they do. And Kelsey, I hope you're still here. I don't know if you still are. It's only been an hour. So what you're going to do is go to my practice exams, hit that playlist, FINRA exam playlist, practice exam playlist. The first 5 are all SIE exams. Do those and come back on Thursday, even though it's NASA night, and tell me how you did. Okay. Yes. Okay. No, fuck margin. Don't worry about margin. That's mutual funds and annuities and customer accounts. So if you're going to focus on shit over the next week, yes, do the brutal exams, but you got to focus on options. And if you don't have it, do the membership. It'll save your life. But mutual funds, annuities, bonds, and suitability. Margin is not going to be the reason you fail. Past perfect, like if you do a 125 question test, they will put 10 to 12 margin questions. Now, my exam on my website does have 5 margin questions because I know people hate them. So that's why I did it. Okay. But they're not heavy. I have people that said they didn't see any exam. So we'll go from there. But I would not focus on margin at all. I would let it fucking go. Okay. Everyone, Bobby Buffet. Okay. Okay. So if you're still here and you wait and you're patiently, you deserve it. You deserve an answer. I would say tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow, go through my crash course, go through the STC crunch set facts. Make sure you go through that a couple of times. And remember, don't worry about the brutal so much. It's more about learning, like getting the style down and maybe recognizing a question or two. Maybe I'm not saying they're there, but I'm just going in there. Just recognizing a question or two. Okay. Got the star, baby. Does that mean you passed? Is that what that means, I think?
I was trying to figure that out when it came in.
I know, and I didn't want to interrupt Max because he was doing great. I didn't want to screw with it. Okay. Well, Josh, sure, it will be. So here's what if you're probably gone already because it's been a while. But yes, this is for all FINRA exams. So your best bet is finding my Series 6 playlist, watching that. Since you have a month, then go back and reread the book. You have all this time. You have a month. Well, it may change soon, but you have a month, okay? And then start doing questions. And hopefully by then you read the book. You come back on Tuesday. Here's the idea. So anyone who's going to jump on this live with another exam, write down stuff you're struggling with and then jump it in the chat. The earlier you put it in the chat, the earlier I get to it. Makes sense, right? Because after about 8:15 or so, it's going to be delayed because I talk a lot. Okay. Okay, Mason, hope you're still here. I think they do a good job of most of the stuff, but they focus more on the details more than the actual stuff that you need. Okay, so I would focus more on the actual concepts. Again, if you take it to 7 mutual funds, annuities, options. Here's the thing. Again, Kaplan's options are kind of brutal. And not in a good way. Like they make you worry about tricks and stuff like that. I don't love them that much. Okay. Anthony, hope you're still here. That's awesome. Boom. I love it. Anthony. Okay. So we get to this. First question. Hope you're still here. That girl, unique. Okay. Unique. Okay, here we go. Where is my marker? Now. So let's say you own 100 shares at 30. Right? 100 shares at 30. Good. Okay. Now, let's say these are so easy. Say it's a 3-for-1 stock split. We good? That's easy shit. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. First, let's do a 3-for-2 also. We have 2. So we have 2 things going on here. 2 different splits. Okay. I'm going to undo this so you can see the whole thing. 100 shares at 30. 3-for-1 split and a 3-for-2 split. First thing I do is I do 3 divided by 1. So I do 3 divided by 1. That gives me the magic number of 3. Okay. Then I multiply the 3 times the 100 to give me 300. See how bad this will be to write it backwards. Oh, not bad, right? That's 300. And then now I'm going to do 30 divided by 3. So that should be 10. But if you look, here's a double checker, right? Look, 100 times 30 is $3,000. 300 times 10 is $3,000. Nothing changes. It's not dilutive. It's not anything. So boom. So stock split is you do the first number divided by the second to give you that. And you multiply the shares, divide the price. Say it with me. Multiply the shares, divide the price. Multiply the shares, divide the price. Good stuff. Okay. Now, let me erase. We try a different one. The 3 for 2, just so we don't get confused. What do I do first? 3 divided by 2 is what? 1.5. So that's, I'm going to multiply that times the shares, 150. And I think that's, I'm going to do 30 divided by 1.5. I think it's 20, but I will never do math in my head. I will always do math on a calculator. So I'm going to do 30 divided by 1.5. And I was right. Look at that. Ken's right once in a while. A broken clock is right twice a year. So twice a day. So now 130. See, I was wrong on that one. 1.5. So 150 at 20. If you multiply them, it's still $3,000. Now let's say, oh, that unique. You want to know about a reverse split? Sure, we can do that too. So let's say it's a reverse split. A 1 for 5. How do I know it's reverse? Because the little numbers first. So I'm going to do 1 divided by 5. That's 0.2. I'm going to do 0.2 times 100. That gives me 20 shares. I'm going to do 30 divided by 0.2. I think it's 150, but I'm going to double check. 30 divided by 0.2 gives me 150. So now I have 20 shares worth 150. Now, here's the thing. So there's no change in value because it happens to everyone. So the total value never changes. Now, a forward split is a good sign of a good company. A reverse split is a sign of a bad company. That's in trouble. So do you remember what company, a big bank, did a reverse split about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago? And it sounds like, they couldn't get over $4. Big fucking bank. It's big. It sounds a lot like Schmitty Bank.
Yeah, I know. I actually know it very, very well, and it's when that happened. And
right,
yeah, I'll keep the story to myself. But
there you go. You can tell me later. So Citicorp, good company, it's fine, but they have a nickname called Shitty Corp because they fuck shit up. So after 2009, they couldn't get over $4 a share, and it's not a big deal. But a lot of funds and stuff can't buy something under $5 a share. Even if it's on the exchange, it's not a penny stock. Remember, a penny stock is under 5 and not on an exchange, but they're on an exchange. Okay, so now, and I mean, it was trading like billion. It was a billion shares both ways. It was so cheap. And they go, this sucks. So they did a 1 for 10 reverse split. So if you had 100 shares at 4, they did a 1 for 10. Now you had 10 shares at 40. So it became a $40 stock, and then it worked. So usually it's a sign of a shitty company, but again, the joke is Citibank is really close. Shitty bank. Okay.
Yeah, but in addition to that, they also solidified their balance sheet, and a lot of things.
Oh, don't ruin a good story with facts. No, I'm kidding. No, they did a lot of good stuff because
there's a lot of things changed. Regulations
by doing that, yes, because it's such a stupid rule. A fund can't buy it under 5, but over the same company. That's the thing. It's the same company, but it looks better, so then people can buy it. And
I'm drawing a blank. What was the term that they used to when they were checking to the balance sheet or the liquidity or what? There was a test that the government used to do.
Oh, not the means test. Oh yeah.
No.
Under Dodd-Frank, they put it in there.
Dodd-Frank, right? Yeah, it was like one of the yeah, and then they were using that as a benchmark.
Oh, not a TARP. Oh my God, yes, they did it. It was like to make sure they weren't going to go to business.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember. It'll come to us as soon as we shut out. Okay.
Yep.
Now, Gene, are you still on here? Hopefully you're not because it's late. You should be in bed. Don't be nervous. We got this, baby. Just make sure you watch my SIE Power Hour. It's the best out there. And do a quick review of customer accounts and prohibited activities. And you go and nail this thing. Yeah, this is all that. Yeah, Melissa, 100%. I'm telling you, networking, has it helped me? No, I'm not good at networking. I'm not good at small talk. I'm not good at any of that shit. I get awkward. If I don't, I just talk about the weather and then I move on. And usually I just say something stupid, insult them, and then we're all good. Okay. So I think, Bentley, I answered your question. Boom. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad it happened. Okay. Oh, so here, this was one. Matt uses Copilot, right? And again, here's my thing about AI. This is why I sort of think it's not going to take off too much. Oh, your best chapter. I'll get there. So, I think AI is going to have a little bit limited rule. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Jeff, talk for a second. I got to do one.
Yep. I'm actually trying to find that term that I was referencing, but I can't find it. It's driving me crazy now.
Okay. I just had to close the window. It started raining again. Oh. Okay. So the problem with the AI a little bit is because remember all the stuff goes into a server. So there's a local one there's some of these open source ones you can create one on your local. If you can keep an AI in your own ecosystem, then it works with the banks and the lawyers and stuff. But other than that, it's a problem. Okay. Yep, I agree. I'm telling you, the AI questions are too easy. Okay. Okay. Melissa. Okay. Melissa Decker. Okay. Okay, the 3 months, this is easy. Okay, you haven't studied this in 2023. So here's the thing. The good part is, since it's been more than 2 years, they think you've regained your virginity, your 7 virginity. So what happens is you're back to being, I know it's rude, but you'll remember this, okay? So, and they're changing this. So what I want you to do, since you're taking it, when do you want to take it in 3 months? Buy a book, STC, hopefully. Or if you can afford it, get STC and Achievable. Both of them are great. Or how about this? Get the Achievable and buy the Securities Institute of America. That answers your question. Your best chapter is here. Get Securities into America as a question bank. So Achievable to learn it, because nobody teaches better. The questions are good, but not awesome. But they teach it better than anyone else. But if your firm's going to pay for it, say your firm pays for it, and you get STC or Kaplan, then you just focus on reading the book first for the first 2-3 weeks. Take your time. Don't rush through it. Don't take a lot of notes. Then do chapter quizzes. Anything you score under 70 on, reread. Then keep going, and that's what you do. There's no by the way, 3 months is too long. I want you to take it. So what's today, the July 25th? Melissa, if you're still on here, I want you taking this by Labor Day. No, that's your goal. You set Labor Day as your number. That's what you have to do. Okay. Hopefully you're still here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Brutal. Okay. Okay. I'm taking tests on Saturday. What should I do these days? Okay. These days. Okay. Your scores are good. You should be doing a couple more finals till Thursday. No tests, none on Friday. Crash course. 7. If it's a 7, I assume. Okay, because they're brutals. You're going to go over, do the brutals again. Take a look at them. I might have another one out by then. Go over customer counts. So if you have Kaplan, go over chapters 13 and 14 either the morning of or the night before, and that's going to be your best bet. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Oh, Mike. Oh, no, that's the Wednesday night thing. Right. Okay. So I have a couple more people coming in there. It's still going to be a small group. They didn't meet Mike. Then Mike LaRosa was yelling at him for don't use AI too much. He's not old. He's just old school. Okay. Do you know what's sad? You know what's really sad? Billy's not coming back anymore.
He's not going to come on?
I know. He doesn't want me to play a song for him. Billy Dixon was such a help for the past year or so, helping people out. He got the licenses, and they had to wait to get sponsored for the 7, and he finally passed it on Saturday, which was great. And Butterfly passed it on Saturday. So I do have to, I know she said I was getting rid of her. I did skip her. I don't know if you're still here. But for the 63, read the book, and then take tests until your eyes bleed. Okay. I think you dropped the link for the membership, right? Did you do that already? I don't know.
Yeah, you want to do it again?
Yeah, you can't. It hurts. Okay,
Yeah,
because you're back. We're only about 10 minutes behind now. Okay.
Oh,
Kelsey, that's awesome. Okay, good. Meredith. Okay. You're right there. I don't think it's awesome. I think you obviously know you want to be in a better place. But if you take your time and just do a quick review. Now, again, if that's Kaplan you're showing 60s on, you're probably okay. If it's STC, at least read that's not as good, but reread the crunch time facts ahead of time. And if it's past perfect, you're probably fine. Be confident, be a bad bitch. Okay. You want to be a bad bitch. And you want to be confident there and do, I'm going to own this. And don't change your fucking answers. Okay. Oh, so Melissa did comment, so she's definitely still here. Good. Okay. Oh, Ashley. Oh, hold on. Ashley passed. She passed on Saturday. Did she say that?
Huh.
So I know she passed because she's saying she passed at the same time as Butterfly. So, here, this is a good one. It's going to be his crotch, but you'll deal with it.
Viele Hände hat der Oktopus? 100.000 Hände. Wie viele Hände hat der Leguan? 100.000 Hände.
I'll fix it at some point, but it's a crotch shot. Okay. Okay, classic car. I don't know if I do. Oh, there it is. There she is. I knew she did. Okay. Look at that, baby. With kids. Okay, she had kids? Yeah, single mom. Okay, here's my thing on that. That is some superhero shit. I say that all the time. If you're a single mom or a parent, mom in general, doesn't have to be single. You're a mom in general. Because look, we know the dad is like, my thing is, I know there's some sure people running around my house for a couple of years and then they move out. So the mom knows the name of every friend they've ever had. Like they go, do you remember Gina? But I'm like, no. Do you remember Bob? No, I don't remember any of their friends. I don't remember their friends now. Okay. So doing that and you're passing that and all that shit, it is some superhero shit. Melania, whoever she is, she's not on here because she would never do this, has a kid and she did it herself too, which is amazing. So it's outstanding. These stuff, I am so impressed when I hear about moms and they're working and they're switching careers and they're doing this and they're working at the same time they're passing. It fucking makes me so happy. Okay. Okay. Okay, hold on. Where's my man? Okay. Did that. Where's Okay. Your best friend. I actually have a link with them. I like them. I like their questions a lot. They've gotten better and better. They're really he updates them constantly. He's Jeff, the other Jeff is constantly updating him with his team. It's good stuff. Okay. No, I would Meredith, if you're still here, I would go after the weakest sections and maybe less questions and more just reading. More reading or watching videos. And if you can, make sure you go over customer counts and register rep rules like prohibited practices one more time. Okay. No, I don't think it's bad at all to do that. Okay. No, I think it's look, let me preface this thing. I am lazy as hell. My wife, she said, I'm always trying to find like shortcuts for everything, right? So one time she had to do something. She brought me and said, how would you fix this? I had to do that. She goes, good. And it wasn't perfect, but I got it done. Okay. So I'm very much into what's the quickest thing I can do. So I don't do flashcards. I don't take notes. I read the book once. I do a couple quizzes and go take the test. I'm a good test taker. I just have that for me. Okay. So luckily, and with my personality, if I was a bad test taker, I'd be homeless and dead. Okay. So, but I am smart enough that I can do that. I'm saying I'm not a fan of flashcards for myself, but a lot of people use them and they work. But make sure, remember something. Writing the flashcards is the magic, not reading them. So don't buy someone's flashcards. Don't buy the Quizlet flashcards. Don't do that shit. Make them yourself. If you want to use a flashcard, write them down and then use that one, not the ones you bought. Okay. Okay, night before on the Series 7, watch a crash course, watch my quick and dirty, watch my guerrilla style, and then you are to read customer accounts and disclosures the night before. That's the big one. Okay. Boom, I like it. Manuela, I like it. So Notman is fine. They're not my favorite, but I think they're fine. I just think their questions, here's the thing. I say this about Kaplan, Pest Perfect, and Notman. Their questions are overcomplicated, and that's a downside. But the good side is if you're passing their stuff, you're in good shape. Okay. I can't believe it. Oh, that good. Bobby Buffet is still here. Good. Okay. I think you should buy the options membership. It's going to help. It will help you a lot. A lot. Okay. Oh, I get it. Thank you, Ken. If you buy the membership, you get a star next to your name. That's right, you do. YouTube is going to do everything they can to get you to come in. Okay. Hold on. Hey, Graham. I hope you're still here. That's outstanding. Let me find a good one because the 65 is a big one. Let me turn it down a little bit. Okay. I will go with Devo.
When a problem comes along, you must whip it before the cream sets out too long. You must whip it when something's going wrong. You must whip it.
Hey, boom, boom, boom. That's outstanding. That's like, did you listen to MTV? Like when I was like 13 when MTV finally came out, and there was a bunch of, and one of the videos came out, I'm turning Japanese.
Mhm.
And then we were older and we found out what it really meant, but I'm not going to get into it, but it is what it is. Okay. Oh, there's Brian. Brian, that's awesome. Welcome back. I'll see you. Oh, I'm coming down. I think go down to Pennsylvania the end of August if you're going to be there. Okay. KB, stay there. I got some questions for you. Oh, Brian nailed it. He knew City right away when I said it. What happened? As soon as I said, what happened? He goes, Citibank. Okay. Oh, I like that. That's not a bad idea. So again, but to find, so yeah, do a question. If you do it wrong, then just take a new question on the worst topics. I'm for it, but I'm going to add in if you do bad on certain sections, read it or watch a video on it, then do a question on those, and then see you do. Add knowledge. Don't just try to memorize questions. Yeah. So do look, if you can do the basic ones, you should be able to do them in your head. But yeah, don't focus on the crazy shit. Focus on hedging, spreads, hedge. If you have to pick two, hedging and spreads. If you can add straddles, that's great. Hedging, spreads, and straddles are good. Don't worry about collars. Don't worry about butterflies. Hardly testable. And guys, remember, if you guys are a new group here, remember if you go to series7exam.org, I have finals on there. You can take a full final. You can take an options quiz. You can take a bonds quiz and a suitability quiz. I'll be adding more as we go along. Finally, learn how to code on that shit. Okay, here we go. I don't know what Rudo is. Okay. You're in good shape. Maybe he meant my brutal, so I'm assuming. But yours. If you're passing the Kaplan ones, you're in good shape. So what should you do, user? You should take another test tomorrow, maybe Thursday, and then none on Friday. Go over my crash course. Read customer. If you're using Kaplan, then reread chapters 13 and 14 the night before, and go beat this thing and come back next Tuesday and tell us how great it was. And be confident. Get sleep. Start your sleep now. Okay. Okay. Achievable and Securities Institute of America. Sorry about that. I know I mumble. It is what I do. It is. I'm the Series 7 mumbler. So Achievable and Securities Institute of America has good hard questions. I don't think they match it any better than any of the other vendors, but Achievable teaches it. Securities Institute of America has hard questions, and then that with my brutal exams, you're good. But the first thing you're going to do is get Achievable and work through the program. If you want to buy STC as one thing, get it. But if not, go to just get the Achievable and type in you want to take it September 7th. Don't say 3 months, say September 7th, and it'll tell you what to do. That's what I love about it. It'll tell you what to do every day, and I think it updates on what you've done. So like if you're ahead or behind, it'll update what you have to do based on what you have to do. I love it. Okay, Rufus, baby. Okay. First of all, I appreciate coming on here and saying you want to watch my videos. But remember, any videos is a supplement, not a primary. So get the books. If you don't have books yet, go on my links. You can get Achievable, which is great, STC or Securities Institute. Any of them are good. They will teach you, okay? Then do those, and as you're reading, as you're going through, watch my video that relates to it, then do the reading, then do a quiz. Actually, I'm a big fan, other than Achievable, whether it's Securities Institute or STC, read straight through the book first one time, using my videos. Don't do any questions until you finish the book. Then do chapter quizzes to see what made it into the long-term memory. Because if you do quizzes right after a chapter, yeah, of course you do. It's just the way it is. Okay, good. Okay. And I love it, Rufus. We're gonna get it. Okay. Okay. No panic tax, Jan. Okay. Okay, Camilo. So the options are hard. All of the vendors do a really bad job with options. I'm just telling you, maybe think about spending the $24 for the membership, and you will wish the entire test was options. I promise you. I swear to God. Swear to God. Okay. Swear to Allah. Swear to Jehovah. Swear to Yahweh. Whatever you want to say. I swear that if you do the option stuff, you will wish the entire test was option. Within a week or two, you will. And don't even do the extra stuff for the members, the higher memberships. Just do the $24 one. I promise you, you'll be like, that's the best $25 I ever spent. Okay. Okay. You are not taking it tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay. Chris has a question that Jeff could answer because we answered in the beginning of the thing, but he can answer it later. Okay. So you've only done 10. That's fine. How close are you getting, Jan? Are you like low 60s? Are you 70, 69? Don't have panic attacks. If it's the 7, go do my brutal exam, see how you do on that. And again, look, and if you're on Pass Perfect or Kaplan or even Notman, there are situations where you could not pass and still be okay. Not pass their exam, still be okay. If it's S, you better be passing. But again, maybe spend a day going over your weakest sections and go from there. It is pouring like cats and dogs out here. Okay. So for this, so Camilo, just think about it. You don't have to do it. But again, they use T-charts, and I think that's so late 1900s. Okay. Here, this is for you, Jeff. We just talked about it, but see how I said, I think the people in the first half are different than the people in the second half.
Well, they probably saw the questions scrolling at the bottom here.
Oh, that would help. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I don't even read that.
So we're talking about this. Use it as as kind of like a supplement. Don't ask it to create questions or things like that. Use it to help clarify a topic. You might, read, explain this topic to me as if I'm a third grader, or use it as, what am I, here's the question, here's the answer. What am I missing? Can you explain this further? Use it like that. Don't use it as like the source of creating practice exams for you, because there can be, as Ken was explaining earlier, there can be, how are you saying it, like circular kind of answers?
Yeah, they answered that. They put the answers in the answers.
Yeah. So
and AI is a concept. Do not use them to test yourself.
AI is a tool. It's not the benchmark or the source of truth,
not a primary.
I would call it. Yeah. But it is a great resource.
One thing I'm going to add in, there's going to be a lot of people on Reddit pushing their free SIE tools, right? And here's my problem with that. I've looked them up. They're all marketers. They're literally not in the business. All they did was, and one of them, and look, like I do my podcast, right? So what I do is I have a podcast and I do a lot of good stuff. But sometimes I go, what? I talk fast, I mumble. So I actually I go on somewhere and I use an AI source to create a podcast where they talk to each other. But I tell you I do that, okay? I'm doing that, but I prompt the shit out of it because I go, no, that's wrong. I got this, I got that. I go through the whole thing and make sure it's correct. These guys do the same thing, but they don't look at it. They just type it in, they put in something, they put in the content outline, and they shove it out there. Because I looked at them, I listened to their podcast. I said, okay, if it's good, I'll promote it. But it's literally just Notebook LM doing that, and they're not even checking it. Because remember, these things, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know anything about it, and they're pushing it on Reddit. So my thing is, and on Facebook and all that other stuff. So don't go after the free AI sources. Do it yourself. I have a podcast, Series 7 Whisperer. You can go do that. I have some good stuff. I've vetted it. Because it's me. I'm a little biased. I mean, I think the guy's a good guy, but don't forget, I also have stuff on Instagram and Series 7 Whisper and TikTok, which I'm almost at 30,000 people on TikTok, which is amazing. Okay. But again, I use them as concepts, not primary.
What are you doing?
Okay. But 68 on Kaplan, do you think I'm ready? Yeah, I think you're ready. You're taking it this Thursday, Jaden. You got this. Have you done my brutal exams yet? If you have, let me know. Okay. I got two little dogs bugging me right here. Okay. Okay. You're a pass. Just don't fucking change them. So I want you to. Here's where to go. Here we go. I want you to take one test, and then come on Thursday and tell me. Tomorrow, take one test, and you will ride or die with your answers. Even if you know they're wrong, I want you to get in the habit of just ride or die and see how you do. Literally, you answer it, and you hit next. You will not change it. Just don't do it. And take Whatever happens, happen. Don't worry about your score. I just want you to get used to the fact that you don't change your answers. Okay. Brian, I love it. That's going to be awesome. I don't even know what tests we're doing when we get down there. They usually tell me when I show up. Okay. What do I recommend I put on the dump sheet? I have, look, for sure. Okay. For sure, you put on the options box and the triangle. That's a minimum. There's no way around that. Okay. Now, where is it? I have a video. I think it's in the SIE crash course. I'm going to check where I create a dump sheet. But the thing, dump sheets are very personal to whoever has them. Okay. So they're personal to, let's see, I think I put it at the bottom. Here we go. Literally what you need on your dump sheet. And this, by the way, this link for the dump sheet is for both the SIE and 7. I kind of moved it around. Where is it? Okay. Boom. I get them both in there. I have one color for SIE, one color for 7. Matt, go do that. It's going to help you a ton. Okay. Oh, 13 and 14. And okay, here we go. STC, I don't know what they are in Notman, but I assume it's probably similar. On STC, you want to read 2 and the 7. You want to read chapters 2 and 14 the night before. And on Kaplan, you read 13 and 14 the night before. Okay. Ooh, Melissa, the 14. I know I hated that test. By the way, I passed it, but that's the only test I ever failed in my life. Well,
No,
I failed a lot. Yeah, I know. In real world, I failed a shitload of tests. But on the licensing stuff, that 14 is the only one I think I got a 60 the first time. I didn't study it. And then
did you reread the book? Did you reread the book?
No, it was before. Before I started teaching. And because the problem with the 14, it's the New York Stock Exchange compliance officer exam. So basically, you had to read the regulatory notices because it updated as the test happened. It would update right away. It's fucking nuts. So basically, my friend who was a lawyer who passed it, he handed me a binder of regulatory notices. He goes, just read this. The books suck. So it's crazy that you had all those. You had the 14. This should be easy for you, Melissa. It's gonna be easy if you do this right. You don't have to use STC. If you use Achievable and then the Securities Institute of America, which are links in the thing, you do those, you'll be fine. If you want to do the STC. Okay, that's fine. Look, if you can pass the 66 using videos, that's fine. And I have more videos for the 7 than the 66. It's fine, but you gotta look. At worst, go get Speechify and have it read it to you. Get Speechify. It's $25 a month. You can have Snoop Dogg read you the fucking book. Gwyneth Paltrow. They have like 200 voices. I always go with Australian or Irish women, but it is what it is. Okay. So the point is, I'm trying to get my wife to talk Irish. No. So the point is, sure. Okay. Now, just if you want to do the videos, that's fine. But I would really, 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 I would think about at least get Achievable or something to read you the book. Just think about it. Okay, we're getting near the end. I can't believe we weren't as far behind as we thought. I think Max did a good job. Nobody was asking questions because they were paying rapt attention. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, Chris, yes, they're all still relevant. I can't believe it's in 6 years. Isn't that crazy that they were 6 years ago? Yes, they are. But the other thing you can do is, if you want, I have a playlist called Intro to the SIE Exam. Those are when I taught a class. Those are like 4-hour videos where I just start from the beginning and work your way through. Yes, the only things that are old is T+1 versus T+2. The GIF limit was just fucking changed like a month ago. There's no such thing as a pattern day trader anymore. And the IRA contributions have gone up, but I don't think I try not to talk about that.
There's no more definition for pattern day trading.
It's gone.
So if you have less than 25,000 in an account,
you can day trade all you want.
Really?
They do what they call intraday margin levels, where basically it's risk based more. They look at your account and then they give you a buying power based on that, and it's intraday.
But what if you're just trading not off margin? You're just trading.
Nobody cares.
Off of
but remember, it's
cash.
not. You're not. Remember something. This is a great question. That's awesome.
So
So
actually,
the
you're not
margin,
trading off your cash because it didn't settle, right?
right? Yeah, that's what you're. So they allow you to do that, right?
Okay.
That's the thing. So like if you would trade, you hit it. Remember you hit it that one time.
yeah. Started going in.
I know. It's like
10
he's
minutes
like,
later, I got a phone
happened?
call.
It's like, why did my man? And you were fine, but it was like, why did my minimum equity just go up? Right. So because you're trading on unsettled funds. So yeah, if you trade every 2 days, you're fine. Now it's gone. No, they had supposedly, according to FINRA and according to Todd over at STC, he said it won't be that the new rules. It's gone out of the test, but they won't do the new intraday margin levels until next year because they actually have until October 2027 to implement the rules. So, but yes, Chris, those everything but what I just said are definitely part of it, and you're fine. Okay. Oh, I thought I was closer. Then it just okay. Okay. Cookies. If that's what's fucking hurting you, let it go, baby. You're gonna get like 1 or 2 questions on it. Literally, okay? I'm telling you right now, go watch. If you watch my margin videos, because it's 9:30, I don't think I'm gonna do math on you, right? But if you do the margin videos in my 7 playlists, and then I have a video where you do margin questions, a bunch of them. If you can do those, you're fine. Find my margin videos in the Series 7 playlist, do those 2, then do my margin test video. If you can do that, you're fine. And again, if you do that, you're wasting too much time. You're going to get like 2, maybe 3 questions on margin on the whole test. Okay. Jaden. Oh my God. So that's better. So if you're doing 72 or so on my brutals, you know enough to pass. Okay. I think it's so fun. Never mind. I'm not getting political here. Okay. I just saw an alert come through from the Times. Okay. Okay. Yes, I do. So I do say actually, and I have one that's not, I don't make you pay for it, which is amazing. Here, where is it? I have one. It's called the option strategy. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's in here. This is where, but anyway, so a put spread is buy a call, hold on. A call spread is buy a call, sell a call. A put spread is buy a put, sell a put. Okay. So literally that's all they are. They're literally a put spread has 2 puts. A call spread has 2 calls. Here's a video where I go through each type of strategy, not the math. Oh, Brad, that's a good point. The Able thing went up. Okay. Mattertron. Oh my God, Mattertron. That's awesome. Give me a couple seconds for that. So watch this video that I just put in there, call it a Musan, and that'll help you a little bit. If you really want to do more shit into it, I'm sorry that you can join the membership and we have a good time if you do the higher memberships. But if not, it's $25 a month, and you will wish the entire test was margin. Was now who cares about margin? Okay. Okay. So I don't have Angela. No, I don't have any fun. Oh, you made it. So Angelita sent me a text. Her son, she wanted to pay attention to this, but her son wanted to buy her a MacBook. So he said, no, he texted her and said, I heard Ken's not doing the live tonight. He's only doing board games, trying to convince her not to join the live so she could drive over to the Apple store and buy him a new MacBook. I was like, what a wise ass. Okay. I don't have fun acronyms for them, but you're fine. Don't worry about what time frames. Don't worry about time frames. Just like I tell everyone, if you ask me times for this or that, I can't remember it. I love history, but I hate dates. On the test, it's not really a date test, but you do have to understand government debt. You do have to understand that. And I have videos on it and it'll help you. Okay. And if you take the SIE, join the $5 membership and Mike will teach you everything you need to know on Wednesday nights. Oh, so see, the 14th's a hard fucking test. It's such a fucking hard test. Okay, there's no more day trading rule. It's gone. So don't even worry about it. It's all gone. And yes, that's true. The Able account, which I doubt they're going to test you. So Able was if you want to do an Able account, that's for disabled kids, right? If they were prior to the rule in January 1 if they were disabled before they turned 26. Now it's before they turn 46. That's the only difference. Okay. Here we go. We got a final passing one. What are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Where are we going to do? Oh, I haven't heard this one in a while. I'm sad I never got to see them. They broke up. Well, yeah, you got the CFA, baby. Okay, that's no. Is that December you're taking it? I think they do. I think you can actually get the CFA in what, a year now, right? If you do December, June, or is it June, December, June? I think you can do that. I don't know. Oh, actually, no. They offer it like, I think they offer it like 4 times a year now. It used to be only now it's like every quarter you can take any of the exams. So it's good to have. Boom, I love it. And the MSF dude, that's going to be amazing. You're going to be well qualified. Okay. Boom. And I think we made it to the end. It's good. I loved having Max on here. If Max watches, thank you for coming on. That was outstanding. I hope to have him on again. I'm going to try to bring on more people that'll help you. I have a guy who does the 79, which isn't such a big thing, but I'm going to have him on. I'm going to bring other people on as we go. I'm going to really work on getting Brandon Rith back on. He's so busy teaching now. He's actually, if you want to, that's another thing. So if you want to check him out on YouTube, he's Basic Wisdom, and Instagram, he's trying to push out more videos, Basic Wisdom, along with my Series 7 Whisperer ones. He's not on TikTok yet, but he's definitely on YouTube under Basic Wisdom. And another person you can check out is Past Masters. Now, understand, Past Masters is good, but again, none of the YouTube channels are primaries. I love to think my shit is great, but I'm still a secondary source, okay? This is fun. We do this. Don't forget, join the membership. If you're taking the SIE for $5 a month, we get one class every Wednesday. You get a tutoring class. It's not private, but usually there's only 3 or 4 people on it. The other stuff is you want to do the other membership, the options that you can upgrade it to meeting once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week. All stuff, really good groups. And what I may have seen is that a lot of them, they end up meeting each other and they do their own study groups on the outside. It's a nice tight group of people. Okay. Yeah. So my live is on Thursdays, right? So my live is on Thursdays. So for the live for NASA is 65 and 66. Jeff's trying to get me to do a second night of lives, but I just can't do this. It's a lot.
Third night, actually.
What? A third night, right? A second night for 7.
It would be a lot for me also.
I know. It's like, oh, yeah, Mr. Over. Okay. I can't say it. Okay. Let's pay. Okay. We're excited. We're excited to go 2 cents investing. We're excited to go with you, right? We're going to go with you. We got this. You should actually, if you have a YouTube channel and you're doing this, maybe you should document your study travels, right? Maybe I'll comment on a video if you do it. Document what you're doing. Sometimes that helps keep you motivated. Do a little shorts on what you're reading and a video on like what I'm doing, stuff like that. It's always exciting stuff to read that. Everyone, don't forget I'm on TikTok, on Series 7 Whisper, Instagram, here, and if you guys ever need help just studying or career advice, Jeff's the guy. He can do a membership. He does a 45-minute membership. Okay. Brian, I agree. I agree. I cannot stress enough either how helpful the options class is. I'm telling you, Brian's on the 66 now. Okay. Good guy. Despite being on the other side of aisle of me, I do like him personally. Okay. I think he's a great guy. Boom. Do this stuff. Okay. We have nice chats when he comes down. He's the only person on the left I could actually have a conversation with because he's not dumb. He's a smart guy. Okay, everyone, I just made it political, but as I go. Okay, Brian, I'll see you in a month. Hopefully, I'll see you on Tuesday nights. Don't forget NASA's Thursdays, FINRA's Tuesdays, and join the membership, baby. Okay, there you go. We're gonna get you through. We're gonna. As I say, I'm gonna drag you across the finish line. I'm gonna drag you kicking and screaming across the finish line.